Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Me and Muslims and Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Coming soon, Missing 2, Double Expense, Double the Fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite pains and King David Psalms. Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, 50 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and more. And follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and more. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a multi-talented, best-selling author, podcaster, interviewer, ordained minister, and mentor. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, with multiple degrees in business administration and management, computer programming, certified business coaching, and the culinary arts. We'll find out how he managed to tie all that in. He's worked for a decade in the food service industry and served in the state government as the passport advocate and or associate, and also department supervisor, and also currently an ordained minister teaching leadership development, biblical principles, and community service. And he also escaped death numerous times, and he's got a podcast. We'll talk about that. Live, ladies and gentlemen, Plus Dues in beautiful downtown Charleston, South Carolina. Multi-talented, best-selling author, podcaster, interviewer, ordained minister, and mentor. They call me Mista Yu, the multi-talented Mista Yu. Mista Yu, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
You made that guy sound incredible. Thank you, man. That's amazing. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been already interesting already, man. But thank you for having me here. I'm excited about this, man.
Well, great to have you on board as well, too. And look what you got. I mean, I need some catching up to do, to be honest with you. So you got that. So you're a multi-talent, best-selling author, podcaster, interviewer, ordained minister, and also mentor. You're born in Brooklyn, New York, with multiple degrees in business administration and management, computer programming, certified business coaching, and culinary arts. I kind of wish I did all that too. So
you do?
Well, we wish you did. We'll find out how we did that in a minute. You worked for a decade in the food service industry. You served as a state government as a passport associate and also department supervisor, currently an ordained minister, teaching leadership development, biblical principles, and community service. You escaped death a number of times and the founder of Mirror Time Media and the podcast, They Call Me Mista Yu. And we'll talk about that. You also co-author a couple of books. Before getting all that, going through this amazing all the achievements, tell us how you first got started.
I first got started with which
way
thing?
back, way back, Machine Sherman, way back.
Yeah, being born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. There's forget what you read in magazines, what you hear about in the media. It's not all accurate. There are a lot of things. They call it the concrete jungle for a reason, and that part is very, very accurate. But there's just so much love and so much, emphasis on being a neighborhood and being a strong community that you wouldn't think happens in New York, but it's really there. And it's one thing I'm most grateful about, because that helped me to kind of be who I've become. Because the rest of the city, is kind of dog eat dog, fend for yourself, stay out of people's business and just do your own thing. And man, there's so much love and community in that place. And that's what I was surrounded by growing up. So that was part of my upbringing. My mother was from the Virgin Islands. My grandmother before her was from Panama.
So wow, okay.
Yeah, so they brought a work ethic with them that they instilled in me. There was no easy handouts. It was hard work and integrity, and I got that from them. So I'm like, this is just, my upbringing was fantastic in regards to, not the thing that you go through in a low income area, with challenging. My mom worked 2 jobs and went to school the entire time I lived with her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She was a lifetime student. I think she still is. So she's been doing that for a long time.
She's still a student, you say, going to school, or?
I think she's still doing that kind of stuff, taking classes. I mean, I don't think she's changed any of that stuff. So she can't help herself. She loves to learn and learn new things and grow. I can't fault her for that. I mean, I think I got that from her too, because everything you named, that's me exploring. That was me going into different places. I want to try something different, learn something new, and I got multiple tools in my toolbox because of what I've seen her do. So that's why that long list of accomplishments that you call it, That's where that's coming from. Me
Mhm.
exploring and growing, not being content to stay in the same space and not you know, not wanting to plateau. You know, I want to
Right.
grow
Yeah. Not being a
and
job for
build.
40 plus years, expect to move in the company.
Yeah.
That seems to be a new trend these days where you go from like, one to another to another. And you're supposed to grow. I mean, 40 years pretty much, from what I'm reading today, it's pretty much non existent, out the window.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in a way, people think that, or people try to let us know that that's a bad thing. I'm like, I never, I always struggle with that because I didn't think it was a bad thing. Okay, yeah, you don't have a person that's going to be on your payroll for 50 years. Okay, sorry for you, but I mean, but if you want to develop people and develop leaders and help people kind of reach their full potential, if you care about that as a business, a lot of businesses don't. They care about the bottom line. If you care about growing somebody as a leader and growing them in purpose and fulfillment, they might not stay with you for 50 years. They may gain what they need to and move on to a more challenging area. I mean, you can't stay in a cubicle for 40 years. You'd lose your mind.
Right.
That's not growth.
Exactly. I've seen that
That's
happen
not
to
realized
people
potential.
too. So, yes. Uh huh.
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen
seen
that.
it.
Yeah. And what did your mom do, at that time as well? What did she do?
She was in the medical field. She was working as a nurse and working in the medical field with patients and preventive medicine and stuff. I remember that so much. I'm like, preventive medicine, what is that? But she was that was her jam, and she did that for many years. Along with going to school and just learning things in the realm of advanced mathematics and medicals. I'm like, all the books that was in the house. I'm like, what are you doing? So I used to even try to read some of the books. I was just so curious. I was always an avid reader, and she put that in me as well too. So that was her life. My grandmother was what would they call it? I mean, the housekeeper is the right word for what she was doing because she was doing more than that, but she was doing housekeeping. She was taking care of groceries and taking care of elderly people who were unable to take care of themselves. My grandmother, that was her thing. So the I guess the seed of service and generosity, I got that, and I'm glad because if you don't have that in New York City, it could be rough sledding for you. So I'm grateful for that seed being planted in me by my mom and my grandmother. So yeah.
And that is so amazing what you have guys done and everything like that. And of course, getting into all the things you did, being an author, podcaster, interviewer, and ordained minister, everything. What was it? One exact precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career? Like the event that happened, a thought happened that led you say, this is what I'm going to do.
I guess in the realm of podcasting, is something that you and I share a love for. I guess I just go ahead and fast forward to that. I think most people that I know started their podcast probably around the same time I did in 2020. Worst time in our world's history, especially our
Oh,
country.
yes. Uh huh.
And we were challenged. People were losing their jobs. People were losing their lives. It was a lot. I mean, the 24-hour news, can't turn the TV on without having a news cycle of death, misery, disease. It was just awful. So for me, I needed to find an escape from that because I lost job. I lost family members. I was dealing same way as everybody else. I didn't want to watch it on the 24-hour news cycle. It was going
Mm-hmm.
on. It was reality, but I couldn't sit there and watch that and let that be my food every single day for 24 hours a day. So I need to find something else to kind of feed me, encourage me, help me, not lose it all in this crazy time we were all living in. And I grew up with a big, huge radio fan. I mean, I
Uh
remember all of the radio jocks. I mean, I was in it. It was a part of the background of my upbringing, especially back home in New York City. So I was a big fan of radio. So podcasting was just a easy answer. I was trying to find little radio shows and stuff. I ran into some podcasts and I listened to those and I was hearing some of the same things that I was dealing with. People who were, you know what? I'm creative. I got this going on. I gotta live out loud and make this thing happen. And I got encouragement from that. I'm like, you know what? These guys are not talking about misery all the time. They're not crying poor mouth all the time. They're doing something with their life and with their time to help other people. And it inspired me. And I listened to more and more podcasts. And before you know it, Harold, I would just describe on your show as an epiphany.
hmm And I think pretty much that you've really built up a podcast. And who are some of your favorite podcasts that you enjoy listening to? I like to tune into Joe Rogan from time to time because he's got his own number one. I'll tell you a story behind that, but go ahead.
Yeah, love to hear that.
What's your favorite podcasts?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I listen to some of him. I listen to Mizell. I listen to people who, kind of talking about things on a business level. I listen to Stanley. I listen to a lot of different people. I don't think I have a favorite, Mike, to be honest with you. I just kind of gleaned a little bit because I was just searching at that time. I was going through a lot of stuff in my head, mental stuff, and I'm like, I gotta just find something to encourage me. I listened to a lot of sports podcasts during that time.
Yes,
I
that's
was
a
doing,
big one too, especially at the Yankees. You're
oh yeah,
following. I noticed, got your beloved Brooklyn Nets, and then you got football coming up, the Giants and the Jets, and
you know
there's
it,
people
baby.
that love to talk sports, but it seems like try to get on a corporate level, they pretty much hit the glass ceiling. There's a lot of great sports podcasts out there, even just two regular football fans that really know what they're doing. Unlike the other guys at ESPN or whatever, not knocking, but it's like you got the fans that
You
really
are
know their
knocking them.
stuff, not worry about bottom lines.
You sure are knocking them, but it's justified. But yes, I mean, I was just trying to find I guess a relief from all that. So I'm listening to sports. I mean, sports talking about sports. It's not talking about masks, and it's not talking about diseases. It's talking about sports. I'm like, you know what? I needed a break, so I just delved into that, and I got an epiphany, like I was saying before, and I started purchasing some podcasting equipment, and here we are, almost 5 years later. I guess next month it'll be 5 years that I've been doing this.
Nice. Okay, we'll talk about
Thank
our accomplishments hitting the 5 year anniversary. And by the way, congratulations.
you, sir.
Coming up as well too in advance. We'll talk about that with the Call Me Mista Yu podcast, along with being an ordained minister and more. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. It's powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at SoundCloudStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundCloud Studios is the answer. SoundCloud Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve Levin endorsed by Howard celebrities including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon, Missing 2, Double Expense, Double of Fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including Thursday's Quiz of Pains and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote as the time of shipwreck started and complicate yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, 50 podcast platforms, heard in 110 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, plus Apple Music, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, and more. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here at the multi-talented, best-selling author, podcaster, interviewer, ordained minister, and mentor, Mista Yu, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And of course, before we talk about getting to your podcast, you started off as a best-selling author, if I'm right. If there's something you want to talk about starting off first, but you being best-selling author, you co-authored Born to Risk, The Heart of the Stepfather, and tell us about those first of all.
Well, the Heart of the Stepfather, that was my first foray into book publishing. I wrote that essentially out of a deep hurt, just having a lack of fatherhood and mentorship in my life coming up as a young man, especially in the mean streets of New York. So it came out of that. And then, of course, I married a beautiful woman when I moved to the South. Married a beautiful woman. Our anniversary is this month. We're going to be 29
Happy
years in.
anniversary.
Thank you, sir. 29 years in, and we have three beautiful daughters, six grandkids, and one great grandchild.
Wow,
So,
amazing. You're blessed.
yes, so we got a family that's a bit blended as they call it, and that book was talking about a lot of that. The challenges. How do you have a father? How do you become a father? I should say when you haven't had one. So how do you teach that? So those are the kind of things that I had to try to learn almost on the fly. I mean, a lot of it was with God's help. I got to be honest about that. But a lot of it was reading and examination and just trial and error. And the book was a lot about that. The Born to Rich project is coming up. It's going to be launching, matter of fact, in less than 10 days from now.
Awesome.
And I'm excited about it because the first book was the first edition was a book, a bestseller. It was wildly popular and it did very well. So this edition is going to be, I think, the same. The stories in this book about people who risked their lives, who risked embarrassment and walked in courage and resilience. It's the kind of thing that's like, you want to hear those kind of stories, especially in the time that we're in now with so much stuff that's honestly, turn the news on again, and even in 2025, it's not 2020, but in 2025, you turn the news on, it's like, wow, what a bummer.
I
A
know,
lot going on.
and I get tired of seeing the news scroll all the time. It's like, breaking news, breaking news. Like we're already
Yeah,
broken as is, and right now, I actually deliberately took out the breaking news feed. It's like that's the last thing we need to see. We want people focus on this, not on the little scroll or a little ticker tape, the sports scores and all that. We want people to focus on this, not the thing that scrolls.
yeah. And now that book, this is my prediction. I believe the book's going to encourage people to fight for their life, to fight for a purpose in their life, and to be the best version of themselves that they can be. That's what my hope is for this book. I wouldn't have been involved with it if I didn't believe that it can accomplish that. So I'm excited about that. And I think I'm an author at heart. I got several books that haven't even been released yet that are going to be coming soon. So I'm excited about those too. But it's kind of just where, everybody that has a story doesn't need to write a book. I've been
Mm-hmm.
open about that on all of our shows. I talk about that. It's not everybody that wants to talk about something shouldn't start a podcast either. It really needs to be I'll stop short of using the word calling, but it needs to be very purposeful if you're going to do this
Oh,
because
that's interesting. And what is the story behind that? Instead of calling being very purposeful.
I mean, because I kind of feel like people who can just because you can do something doesn't mean you need to do it. I know people who start a podcast and I know them, I know their lifestyle, I know how they live, I know what time they wake up in the morning, I know what time they go to sleep at night. I know these are friends, people who I know. You shouldn't be doing a podcast. Some of them don't even have the lifestyle and the discipline it's going to take to be a podcaster. I mean, with all you're doing, with all the things that you are involved with, the sponsorships and all the things that you're doing, those things take discipline to do that stuff. It takes planning. You got to be on top of things. You can't just be, flying by the seat of your pants. You know what? We're going to start at 12 o'clock, but you know what? I got a blaze. I'm going to start at 12:45. That's not how that works. You got to be
Mm-hmm.
on time because you got people who are watching and listening, not only around the country, but around the world. And you got to
Right,
be accountable to
24/7, 365. And that's why I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because the fact that you're having breakfast in Los Angeles at 7 a.m., you'd be having dinner in London or lunch in London at noon. You'd be
that.
you'd be having dinner in Tokyo at 6, or having trouble going to sleep at 2 a.m. in Tokyo. So that's the whole thing. You can be watched anytime, just like with your podcast, watch 24/7, 365, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, even when I'm sleeping, something's still going on. People are still listening. There's still numbers being tabulated, and people's interests are still being stoked while we're sleeping as podcasters. So it's just a big assignment. I'm not saying it's insurmountable. I'm not saying you can grow it. You can make it a full-time business. I'm sure that's possible. I'm sure you know a lot about that. But it takes work. So whether you're writing a book or podcasting or public speaking or whatever you're doing, it takes work. There's no easy answers for this. If you want to build a house right, you gotta make sure the foundation is right, or
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a mess the more you grow it. So I just look at my life that way. So all the things I get involved with, whether you podcast, I take it really seriously. I don't mess around with folks who are just kind of just flying by the seat of their pants. I don't have anything to offer those people because this is not a big enough dream for you to sacrifice for it. So this is big for me. It's big for you, obviously. So this is why we do what we do, right?
Exactly, you're right. And I forgot to ask this one question here. Give us a story behind the Mr. Yu.
That's a
I've been
good
curious
one.
about that. I was gonna give you, ask you by your original name, but it's like Mr. Yu. What's up with that one? I like that.
It's interesting to me. Hopefully, it's interesting to you and your listeners. But I consider myself a self-professed introvert, even more so than at that time than ever before. I'm softening that stance a little bit now, but then self-professed full-blown introvert. I didn't want my name on, I didn't want my face on things, I didn't want my voice on things. So to step into podcasting, it took me a minute to try to rationalize the idea of taking all this introversion and putting it out here on these streets, putting it out here for the globe to see. That was hard for me. So I was trying to figure out what to name the first show, because through our journey since 2020, I probably had 10 shows, and I probably was a weekly panelist in the sports realm for 7 of those. So I probably had maybe
Mm.
15 to 17 things I was doing every week, which became aggressive and too hard to handle. So I had to scale back from that. But now we have 4 shows. But the first show, I didn't know what to call it. And I'm like, as an introvert, you're not going to put your name on it because you're an introvert. You're not going to do
Right,
that.
exactly. Or it's
So,
just like you may be afraid that people might come after you or they won't connect. But I think something like that is just very creative. It's like, have something that's really catchy and everything like that. And I think
yeah.
that's really, really good testament to have something catchy, have something creative. It's like, hey, it's like, listen to this, not go by, your full name, whatever it is. It's like, have a name attached is really catchy and marketable too.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that's what this is. I didn't think about that in the moment, but it came from this. Being in New York, my name, my given name is Yusef. Now that name wasn't super uncommon in my upbringing, especially in New York City. It was fairly common, as a matter of fact, because New York is a melting pot from all different cultures from all around the world. So those things aren't uncommon. When I moved to the South, it was very, very uncommon. And I struggled. I mean, I went to the movie theater, supermarket, grocery store, wherever I went, people struggled to say my name. And after a while, you get
Mm.
weary of that. You be like, oh, I had to do a tutorial again about how to say my name, and people they try so hard. God bless them.
Or,
But
or, or you just say, hey, you. So,
yeah, well, I say, you know what,
hey, you.
just call me you, and they're like, okay, and it kind of stuck in ministry and community circles. The parents struggle to say the name as well, and their little kids couldn't say my name either.
Oh, wow.
So I said, just call me Mr. You. And little kids now, even to this day, they still call me Mr. You, and now their parents call me Mr. You now. So nobody, I don't think anybody calls me by my name. Even my own family doesn't call me that. I don't know who does, but I hear Mr. U everywhere in my own house, in my family, my mother, my sisters. Everybody call me Mr. U, so it kind of just stuck. So the little kids get the credit for that. They came up with it basically, and it became the name of the show. They call me Mr. U. My wife did help out with some of that too, so she gets some partial credit for the name of our first show, which is now a brand. That show's not even around anymore. I'm doing other shows since then, so they call me Mr. U is the brand of our 4 shows that we put out, and they call me Mr. U. Hopefully, it's marketable, but it's definitely simple and easy to remember. So it's been working out so far, man. So that's how the story started.
It sounds amazing too that you started the podcast in 2020. What was that one exact precise moment that simply said, "Yes, I am going to do a podcast," despite you being introvert and never done this before? What was that one moment that simply said, "Yep, I'm going to do it"?
Well, when I was talking about trying to find a release from all the things that we've been getting in the news cycle and just in the air and just in chat rooms, it was just super negative. But I grew up, even as a 6-year-old, I was a writer. I would write as therapy. I would write down things
Oh,
that I
okay.
see. I was sitting on my stoop in New York, and I would in the brown at the brownstone, and I would look around and I write down what I see. It was part of my therapy, part of my release. So I was doing that all the way since 6 years old, all the way up to 2020. But with all that was going on in our world at that time, I'm writing this stuff down, and guess what? For the first time, I'm not feeling like I'm receiving therapy. It wasn't therapeutic anymore. It wasn't working. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of got me scared. Like, wait a minute. This was my release for all these years through my childhood, adolescence, teenage years into young adulthood. And now this therapy I've been leaning on is not working anymore. So I got really nervous. Like, what do I do now? So for me, I was desperate to find a release. And I needed to find that somewhere. And this was the answer. Through my love for radio and then leaning into podcasting, that's how I figured it out. And to get on here, even as a self-professed introvert, to get on here and talk to the people, talk to awesome people like yourself, it does something for me. Our flagship show was one-on-one with Mr. Yu. I talked to folks around the world, and I learned so much about myself and about the world around us. It's changed my perspective. Now I'm like I'm more grateful for what I have because I hear these stories like, wow, I thought my situation was bad, and it gives you perspective. So these shows have been a blessing. So I'm grateful to have ventured into
Mm-hmm.
this podcasting world, man. It's been a blessing.
Oh, it sounds like it as well, too. Who are some of your notable guests that you've had on the show?
Notable guests that I had on the show. Hmm. Woo. I got a guy coming on now. He might be big time, but I'll just wait. I'll hold off from saying his name. But I've met people who are CEOs of companies. I've met people who are kind of doing some men's power movements, if you will. A gentleman
Mm-hmm.
named Rory Paquette, good buddy of mine. He's doing some fantastic work. Uh, I probably interviewed like maybe 50 people since we've been involved in our community. So I don't remember all of them, but I just remember the stories, people who are like one good friend of mine. She does a podcast called Honest Christian Conversations,
Mm.
and she has. I mean, I won't tell her story because I just can't. I don't feel good about that. But she does. She's come from such a hard place. You'd never imagine that she'd be able to survive it, and she's come out and she's better for it. She's a leader in her community. She's a fantastic communicator. You'd never see that coming if you look at her background. I know a guy that lives in Norway. I think he's from Ireland originally, but at least lives in Norway now. I think it is, and he's a leader in the social media realm. He has a massive following. He helps people learn new languages and he helps people navigate social media and all the
Oh, nice.
little things that we deal with that we don't like about analytics and stuff. He helps people deal with those things and coaches them. I mean, I've met all kind of people, and it's just like this is just amazing. I've met people who are advocating for women's rights in the workplace. I met all kind of people, and I'm meeting so many more as we move forward. So this is just it's been an awesome journey, Mike. It's just too many
Mm-hmm.
to name, man. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, that's okay. You know something? You got some great something new. You're being an ordained minister or more. Get to that mint with Mr. Yu. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Me and Moses Missing, the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David Psalms, Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. We'll be back with the multi-talented Mr. Yu after this time out. We're back to the multi-talented Mr. Yu here on the Mike Wagner Show with the podcast. They call me Mr. Yu, and you also co-author Born to Risk and The Heart of the Stepfather. You also became an ordained minister as well too. And tell us more about your journey.
Wow. Well, my mother and grandmother, they were all staunch Episcopalians. Now, if you ever been out, if you know anything about Episcopalians, it's an
Mm-hmm.
offshoot of Catholicism. So if you've been in any of those kind of ministries and churches on a Sunday morning, you know kind of the vibe, the feel. It's pretty laid back. May not be a good word, but it's pretty low key.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super upbeat. And for me, this energetic, crazy Brooklyn kid, I needed some pep in my worship service. So I struggled with doing that. I heard what was being taught, and I understood some things about the Bible, at least on my level. But I struggled with the whole getting immersed in that, just because of all the other factors. But for me, I grew up around people who were very religious and very faithful in their lifestyle, and you know that had some situations, some, I guess we call them some near death situations, and just
Oh, I
some
was just going to ask you about that. Completely
yeah.
forgot about it. We got so involved with the podcast. I forgot to
That's
ask you
okay.
about that. I'm glad you
That's
mentioned
okay.
it.
That's okay. I had some light bulb moments out here, and it played a big part in my finding my faith and even finding myself in the process. I mean, because it's one thing to live faith because your mother and father and grandmother and grandparents did. That's one thing, but to find it for yourself and have a understanding of who you are in this whole space, that was the turning point for me. I was a victim of an armed robbery at one point. I mean, there's multiple things that happened, but that's just one thing that happened. And I was at a place where I had been involved with a cult,
Oh,
and
wow.
I just I got out of it by the grace of God. I got out of it, and I was the victim of an armed robbery not long after that, maybe less than 2 weeks from the decision that I made to leave this organization. And I came out with my life. The guy that was robbing me, he was afraid, probably because of the reputation of the people who I used to run with. And he had his finger on the trigger, probably about maybe 3 to 5 inches from my face, and his hand is shaking violently. I'm like, this is really just going to be how my story goes.
Hmm.
I'm 5 houses from my mom's house, from safety, if you will. I'm like, this is how I'm going to go out. Standing here by this tree with a guy holding a revolver to my face with his finger on the trigger and his hand shaking. Is this the end of the story? I'm like, even though I didn't understand everything about faith and not understand everything about life, just as a young person, still growing up, still figuring some stuff out, I felt like I had more in me than what I was seeing or what anybody was telling me. I felt like I had more of a story, more of a purpose in life. So in my mind, I'm like, this can't be the way that I go. I can't be a classic. We had classic uh stories of this happened in New York all the time. It was happening on the news, it was nightly and daily. I'm like, well, I can't. I was thinking about all those things, all that in this in the blink of an eye, while this guy got a revolver to my face. I'm like, I can't be one of these stories. Not that I'm better than them. I just
Or,
can't. I can't go out like this.
or especially being on the 10 o'clock news as like top story, or like,
No,
before it go to the weather. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't do
no,
that.
no. I just couldn't do it. I was thinking about taking the gun out of his hand. I was thinking about all types of things. But honestly, I didn't do any of that stuff. I let him do what he was going to do. He was so afraid that he missed $600 in my left pocket. He didn't even notice it. He was so scared. So
Wow.
he walked out with a wad of toilet paper, a broken watch, and that was his big take.
and,
I got I got
and all that just to
and
shoot
some
toilet
receipts
paper and a watch. Oh my gosh.
and some receipts
Oh.
from all the lunch I had that day. So yeah, that was his big take. So I'm sure he was pretty disappointed once he looked at what he had. But
Yeah, I
I
was
got him
just
off.
gonna say
Yeah.
we're just glad it wasn't a Rolex, and maybe it was just like a $10 watch you got from
It
Walmart or
was
something.
not.
Oh
It
my
wasn't a
gosh.
Rolex. I'll probably assess it at probably about $50 or less. It's not. It wasn't a Rolex.
Oh
So
my gosh. I mean
not a
that
big
was
thing.
something right there too. And you also talk about having a purpose as well too. And many of us has a purpose. There's people who are having trouble finding a purpose. And you also give some advice. It's like, what is your purpose and how do you find your purpose? And what is really your purpose? I mean, your personal interpretation of purpose.
I know people want one singular thing, and I'm developing this. I'm doing this even in coaching. I'm learning that it's not. It's not so much just one thing. It's a number of things that cumulatively amount to one thing. So people go to a job and say, I want to find my purpose in this job. I want to go work for Google because that's my purpose in life. I'm like, no, you may find some aspect of purpose in the work that you do, but your purpose is not inside of a cubicle. I don't believe that whatsoever. So
No,
this,
no, no.
I believe there's more for you than that because that's a model that your purpose will be housed in, if that makes sense. It'd be almost imprisoned in. So that can't be it. This has to fulfill you on days when you know what you don't feel like getting up. It doesn't. You don't want to deal with your supervisor because your supervisor's been not really great to you.
Or
Those
breathing down your back, pressure and all
yeah,
that. It's like we don't
purpose.
need that.
Yeah, purpose transcends that stuff. So I don't tell folks, what their purpose is. I haven't done that through anything I've done coaching wise, or even personally. I don't do that. I just help folks try to find it. And I honestly believe that purpose leaves clues, and there's things in our lives that have been there, that have been in the background. We just haven't paid attention to it because of all that we got going on in life, the preponderance of things that we deal with every day, and we didn't realize that, you know what? There was something important. There was the important key there, and you missed it. I believe we all deal with that kind of stuff. But I really believe that as long as we continue to keep looking, we're going to find purpose in our everyday lives. The minute we stop looking, I think we start the slow death process.
And I think that's a really good point as well, too. And of course, you being a business coach and culinary arts, I seem to like that one as well, too. It's just like you must be a really good cook, I take. Or did you get that from your mom and grandma? I mean, confess if you did. So,
Honestly, I know that my mom she watches a lot of our shows. So I don't know if she's going to see this or not, but she was a great cook. Don't get me wrong, mom was a really good cook. You know what I'm saying? But as a latchkey kid, she was like she said, she was going to work and going to school. And she was working two jobs and going to school. The majority of the time I was in the house, so I was cooking for her. Most of the time it was not stovetop because she didn't. We didn't have that trust that she get to cook stuff on the stove when she wasn't at home. So I was doing a lot of oven stuff and
oh,
making meals
yeah.
for her. I was making meals for her. So, but I learned. I don't know how I learned that. It wasn't from. I see my grandmother. She can really put in some work in the kitchen. I saw that, but I don't think I. I don't know if I learned that from them. I'm not quite. I mean, I seen it indirectly, but I don't know where I learned that. I think my curiosity and my love for food it just developed from just living in New York City. I
Oh,
mean,
nice. Especially with all the different cultures,
yeah, there's
different
no way you can't be
offerings,
a foodie.
everything like that. Like
Yeah.
say, like with street tacos, ribs, hot dogs,
Why are
pony
you talking about all
dogs,
this stuff right
everything
now,
like
Mike?
that.
Come on,
Yes.
man. You're
What's
making me
that?
hungry. You're making me hungry, man. What are you doing? Come on, man.
Well,
But
well,
yeah,
you
I mean,
mentioned culinary arts. I figure let's talk food right now. Even it's like breakfast in
oh yeah,
Los Angeles, lunch in New York, or dinner in London or something like
yeah. I
that.
mean,
So,
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to not see that because literally every culture, almost in the world, can be represented in that place in some place. I mean, I have friends that grew up that were from different countries and been to their houses and seen what I mean. So it's not really hard. I mean, I just had a love for food and I wanted to make it. I saw people, and this is how this is what I believe sparked the love for it by in a nutshell. By having these friends from different countries, whether they were Jewish or Russian or Scandinavian or Hispanic, you know what I'm saying? By being in their houses and watching them, especially the Italian traditions, where everybody comes together at the table and eats together. That was a tradition that I didn't often see that in my own household because of our schedules and stuff. So, but that meant so much to me to see the family dinners and stuff. And I said, wow, food unites people. I kind of just put two and two together. Like, wow, so food. I mean, I see people who don't agree politically, they don't agree culturally, but food makes everybody come together on the same page. It's really hard to explain, but I've seen that. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, if I have the ability to make food, I have the ability to create unity. Maybe I have the ability to kind of bring people together that ordinarily wouldn't be together. And I guess I took the challenge up and I started to learn how to cook, reading and trying recipes, testing it out with my mom. And when I left the house, I was doing it even more so. Decided to go to culinary school and make it a thing and learn some more
nice.
stuff. And I'm still cooking today, man. So I'm just having some fun with this. It's a journey, but I think it's when I have family dinners in my household and bringing people over, I see the same smiles I seen way back in the 70s and 80s.
Wow, that is amazing. And what's your favorite food you like to cook? What's your favorite dishes?
I love Italian. I don't know. Am I adopted, mom? I love Italian so much. I'm like, I'm wondering, am I Italian? I mean, I love it that much. But I've done everything. I've done a homemade Chinese food. That's something that
Oh,
I love to
nice.
do because man, that's it's fun and it's healthy, And the Chinese food I grew up eating, gotta be honest, not the healthiest stuff you can have inside of your body. So
Hey,
yeah.
that's the best thing. They love to speak with their hands and be expressive. They may have it down here, but they still have a love up for here and a love for here. That's the best part about it. Even pizza brings everybody together too. So
Ooh, you speaking my language, man. I
there
love
you
it.
go.
I
What
love
do you like on your pizza? I'm gonna throw this out for you.
it. Well, it's definitely not gonna be pineapple, that's for sure. It won't be that.
Well,
Uh,
well, oh, some people prefer pineapple. I'll do it if it's Hawaiian, but I'm more of a
man,
sausage,
I don't want to.
pepperoni, throwing a bacon. Let's
I don't want to
see,
offend your
onions,
listeners, man.
green pepper, and drizzle of barbecue sauce. That's my ideal
I
pizza.
don't want to offend your listeners, man. You trying
Oh,
to set
go
me
for
up,
it. Go
man.
ahead. You're
Yeah,
safe
man.
with us. Go ahead.
Pineapple does blow on pizza. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean,
It does
you
blow.
didn't hurt anybody. We're not getting any nasty letters or comments or dislikes, unsubscribing. Don't worry about it.
I mean, for me, I'm. I'm a pretty simple pizza eater. I mean, I want to kind of get down to I like the sauce. So sauce my slices up. Really. Pepperoni and cheese. I can have some black olives on there. I can have some jalapenos, but honestly, I don't even need to
Oh,
have that. Pepperoni and cheese, man. Just take care of that. I can do that one every single day. I'm like, it's a beautiful thing, man. Growing up in New York and having these pizza battles, whose pizza is the best? From what I'm understanding, these battles are still raging on today. They're still going today. I'm like, wow. People
oh, you
fighting
know
for
something.
pizza.
You know something too. The New Yorkers love to talk about their big pizza. Chicago's got the deep dish, and Detroit, Motor City got their thick Motor City pizza. But Chicago, you got to come to Chicago sometime and try deep dish. You want to be adventurous? Come to Chicago and try deep dish. They'll love you over there. So
I've tried it. I've tried it in Florida.
nice.
I tried it in Florida. I thought my heart was going to stop. There was so much cheese. I'm like, oh
That
my
much
God,
love for
this
you,
is
huh?
no. I'm saying it was way too much cheese, brother. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. It was really hard. I even tried Detroit here locally recently. I get some people who come from Detroit and do Detroit style. Pleasantly surprised. I really like Detroit style.
hmm
Chicago's last on the list. I'm so sorry. It's just not. It's not.
No, it's okay. I prefer the thin style. There are times I love deep dish and everything, but Detroit style pizza, double up on everything. That is really delicious. Of course, in
Mm,
Los Angeles, you got all the veggies on there. We love talking pizza. Hey, that's a great idea for your next podcast. Talking pizza.
pizza, man. Why not? Okay.
Hey,
Sounds like a
why
plan.
not? You can have some chefs that love to do pizza, chefs that, speak your language, cooking and everything like that. Well, speaking of podcasts, so where can we find your podcast on it works at?
Oh, absolutely. We're on all the listening platforms, wherever you get your podcast from. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com at They Call Me Mr. Yu. You can see all the live uh, audio and video episodes. Listening platforms, of course, are audio only, but They Call Me Mr. Yu.buzzsprout.com will allow you to find all of our work all the way back to 2020. And I'm very biased, so I say this up front. My first 3 seasons of this show have been the very best things I've ever done. I've been the most transparent. I've shared some of the most poignant stories. I've shared my life stuff. I've grown the most. And those first 3 seasons, I'm very, very partial to those. I invite you to check those out. If you want to check out what Mr. Yu and this podcast brand is all about, start from the beginning. Don't start from last week like some folks are doing. Start from the beginning. Start from September 2020 and tell me you're not moved by what you hear. Tell me your life isn't changed by what you hear. Because my life was definitely changed by just sharing that with you guys. So they call me Mr. U.buzzsprout.com. I'm excited about what we're doing. I'm excited about our shows and excited to be here with you, brother. Thank you for this time, man.
And thank you as well, too. And how about your website?
They call me Mr. U.buzzsprout.com right now. Everything else is being developed, so can't announce it yet, but it's coming. My coaching website, my public speaking website, all the things are coming soon. So right now, just they call me Mr. U.buzzsprout.com to get hold of all of our shows and be able to reach me or use social media and send me a private message. I'll respond that way too. Happy to
Okay,
chat with you.
sounds great. We'll certainly do that. We're here with the amazing Mr. Yu here on the Mike Wagner Show, where they call me Mr. Yu. And what else can we expect in 2025 and beyond?
Hmm. The launch of my new coaching service, high performance coaching. So that's going to be exciting because I've been doing that off and on for a while, but this is a major leg in the coaching game. So I'm excited about that. You're going to see some more of my personal books coming out. That I'll be the primary author of. So excited about that, and maybe some public speaking engagements on platforms near you.
Nice.
We'll see what happens with that, but hopefully 2026 will hold have room for all of those things to happen. So we'll see.
All right. We're certainly looking forward to it as well. Who do you consider biggest influence in a career?
Biggest influence in my career.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm putting you on the spot, Mr.
It
Podcaster.
is. You did it. You did it. I've never been asked this question. Biggest influence in my career. It's nobody in my workplaces. It's nobody that I think is just the books that I've been mentored by.
hmm
I just think of what books would be the which books. Oh my goodness, there's so many I've read that just talk to me about leadership and teach me how to be accountable and walk in integrity. I think if I name one, I'd be offending all the other ones. I don't know if I could do it, Mike. But this just that's been my biggest influence, those books, because honestly, I spent a lot of years not having consistent mentorship in my life,
Mm-hmm.
consistent accountability with people who were going to stick with you throughout the entire journey and not kind of drop you midway. So for me, I try to be a mentor and a leader for those people who didn't have that as well. So I try to be, be the change I wanted to see. But those books like Wild at Heart by John Eldridge, those are kind of things that just shaped my life, showed me how to be the man that I'm supposed to be. The 10 laws of relationship, just books like that have just taught me how to how to be a man and a leader and be an example and a role model and stuff. So short answer, brother, books, man, so many
And
of them.
and that's a really good one too. We should everybody, read books and everything like that. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
At this point, the best advice: don't stop seeking purpose. I know people are comfortable, especially with the changing times, especially economically. People try to find a safe, comfortable solution. I've heard that my most of my entire life, but I haven't been. I'm not the safe, comfortable person. So for me, I'm like continue to keep seeking purpose. Find it in community. So you find it in community, you find it in the connection, you find it in people who have done what you're trying to accomplish. Lean into that. Lean into those opportunities to have those mentors and coaches in your life that can only be found in community a lot of the time. Connect with them. Sit at their feet and learn. They're younger than you, still learn. They're older than you, still learn. They're your same age, still learn and grow and be fulfilled, because at the end of the day, when all the lights go out and the work is over and the account is closed, there's no more work to do. You want to say, you know what? I did everything that I was here to do.
Mhm. And I think that's a great point. And lastly, what advice could you give to men at this point?
Men. Well, I'm doing that on a regular basis now with our new roundtable podcast series. But for men, I would say one of the biggest things, like men have issues. We have a lot of issues. We talk about those on the show every single month. So there's a lot to go into. But the biggest thing is the ability to connect. We talked about that on last month's show, and still a big pressing issue. So my advice to anybody that's a man that's listening today is your situation is really big to you, but it's not unique.
Mhm.
People are dealing with the same thing in other places, in other parts of the world, in worse circumstances than the one that you're lamenting about. Seek out community. Find one or two men that you can share with and do it in a safe space. Even if it's Mike, even if it's myself, share with us. Share with somebody who can be that shoulder for you to cry on, because you have to cry. Men have to cry sometimes. And lean on that and allow that community and that camaraderie to help you rebuild, to help you grow, to help you heal.
Hmm. And I think that's really important as well, too, especially getting out to a Yankee game or a Giant game, or just watch a Yankee game, Giant game in front of a tube, too. That's community right there.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Love it.
You got that right. Here at the multi-talent Mr. Yu with the Call Me Mr. Yu podcast here on the Mike Wagner Show. Mr. Yu, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing sharing your stories.
Thank
Looking
you,
forward
sir.
to having it soon.
This has been
Keep
great,
us
man.
up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. Welcome back anytime. And before we go, what's your website? How do people contact you? And when can people purchase your book, check out your services and more?
Yep. We'll share all those things with the books and the services as they come along. I'll keep you in the loop on that one, but they call me MrU.Buzzsprout.com. We'll keep you updated on all of our podcast work, and then we start adding to it from there. Thank you
We
for
will
your time, brother.
We'll certainly do that. And a very big thank you for your time. You've been amazing. Looking forward to having soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Live have you back. We wish you all the best and Mr. Yu. You definitely have a great future ahead.
Thank you, sir.